Richician!
Hey YouTube, Richician84 here, and I'm profiling my other Edision format deck, Generic Spellcasters. The deck I played for a couple of months in the summer of 2010. It was pretty good for what it was at the time. Hardly got to use it in tournaments though. Now this is, I don't think this is exactly how I played it, or maybe it was, I'm not sure. A lot of it is based off memory from back then, but yeah, it was pretty fun as well, and I still played a single copy of Dark Magician because I didn't want to abandon my favourite card, of course. Hardly ever saw him, but at least the option was there. Anyway, let's just show the deck. So of course I have a single copy of Dark Magician, favourite card, Ace Monster. Still wanted to play him, like I said, and it's technically the boss monster of the deck. Then Chaos Command Magician, a monster that cannot be targeted by monster effects. Played it back then, strong level 6 monster, and is a light which fuels Chaos Sorcerer. And then 2 copies of the Tricky, then a single copy of Crusader of Endymion. I don't remember if I did play it back then. I don't think I did, but I put it in anyway because it's a 1900 light beat stick. Then Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer as well. Then 3 copies of Magical Exemplar, pretty much a Spellcaster staple. Just for bringing out Spellcasters from the hand or graveyard, depending on the number of counters I removed. Now this one I didn't play back then, but again I threw it in as another light. Toy Magician. Oh wait, I remember now, I didn't play these back then. I could have done, and they were my replacements for Effect Veiler, and like I said in an earlier video, for some reason cards from Duelist Revolution are not legal for Edition, like, even though that set did come out during the March 2010 format. So I needed some replacement lights. But regardless, these are 2 monsters I would have played back then all the same. And a single copy of Breaker the Magical Warrior. Now I could have played multiple copies of it, but didn't have the room really. Breaker's always been one of the best spellcasters ever. Makes sense to play it. Then 2 copies of Knights in Sorcerer, one of the tuners that I play, and is very easy to summon off Magical Exemplar and sink a 6. Then 3 copies of Gravekeeper's Spy, still had that classic engine, and Gravekeeper's Guard to use as well. God, this has gone all over the place a bit. Then Time Wizard, which I actually did play back then. cool underrated card and is also a light monster. Then Plague Spreader Zombie, the only main deck monster that's not a spellcaster, but it makes sense. It does complement the deck like a lot. And finally, a Chaos Sorcerer himself. Just generally a good card from back then. BLS Envoy of the Beginning was still banned at the time, and Chaos Sorcerer is the next best thing. So I'd like to think I've got a good balance of light and darks, kind of, even though there's more darks. I wish I saw more lights in the match I had with James earlier. And that's going to do it for monsters, so on with the spells. So for the spells, I've got 3 copies of Magical Dimension, another Spellcaster staple, basically also helps get out the big guys a lot easier, and popping a monster is always nice. Allure of Darkness as well, and yes, that is an ultimate rare from Phantom Darkness and its first aid. Pretty cool flex, if I do say so myself. Brain Control, Giant Trunade, Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex, Book of Moon, 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. Now, I didn't have Forbidden Chalice back then, but it's something I would have had in the deck anyway, just as a filler. MST and Scapegoat. That's it for spells. On with the traps. For the traps I have Mirror Force, Starlight Road, Torrential Tribute, Solemn Judgment, Call of the Haunted, and 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. Pretty standard. And now for the extra deck. I have Mistworm. Now, I didn't actually have Mistworm back then, but I would have played it if I had the room. Actually, come to think of it, how would I have actually summoned it? Because if I had Effect Veiler, I would have used that, and 2 of my level 4s. I'm sure there's a really complex way to do it. Actually, I don't know how easy it is to make without Veiler. Don't know whether or not I'll keep it in, but it's nice to have the option. For level 8, there's Red Dragon Archfiend, Colossal Fighter, Fort Ruler Archfiend, 2 copies of Starless Dragon. And for the 7s, the 1 Black Rose Dragon, of course, and 2 copies of Arcanite Magician. For 6s, there's Goyo Guardian with the original text, Brionac, 2 copies of Tempest Magician, and then level 5s consist of Magical Android, oh god, they're going all everywhere, and Cataster. So there we are. That is it for my Edition format generic Spellcaster deck. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. Not sure what I could do to improve on it. Yeah, if I do decide to enter Edision format tournaments. But yeah, I like it. It's great. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the Richician YouTube channel.